Hola, buenas noches. Good evening. My name is Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, welcoming you to En Casa con la Plaza. En Casa con la Plaza, of course, is our presentations, demonstrations, conversations, and performances that we've been doing since April of 2020, almost 2 years. We have about 260 plus sessions under our belt, but we like doing this every 3 times a week from our home to yours to keep you in touch with what's going on at La Plaza and our Latinx community. We'd like to, first of all, welcome you. If you're on Zoom, you have the chat feature there that you could ask questions, make comments, do shout outs, let us know where you're viewing from if you'd like. And those of you who have joined us on Facebook, you have the comment section there to please let us know where you're viewing from, ask questions, make comments, and so on. We welcome them. We also welcome our sponsors for our February En Casa sessions: CVS Health, Union Pacific Foundation, Aetna, Kaiser Permanente, the California Humanities, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and also the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I'm going to give you a little bit of update what's going on at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. We're open every day except Tuesday from noon to 5 p.m. Weekends from 10 to 5 p.m. It's free of charge, as you know, but we do require that you have your proof of vaccination and also you wear your mask while you're indoors. The mask mandate has been lifted for outdoors, so we welcome that, but please, let's keep staying safe. Our tienda, La Tienda gift store is also open. The exhibits on display there at La Plaza include Calle Principal, LA Starts Here, Patriotism in Conflict, Fighting for Country and Comunidad, and Frank Romero's going to the 1984 Olympics. Most recently, we opened up La Plaza Cocina, our brand new museum on Spring Street at 555 Spring Street, which is a museum, a teaching kitchen, and a tiendita. We're not doing the teaching kitchen yet until the mandates have made it possible. We'll make it possible for us to have groups inside. But for now, you could come and enjoy an exhibit called Maíz, Past, Present, and Future. We're open Monday through Friday, 12 p.m., 12 to 5 p.m. every day. We're free, so please come and join us. And at the end of this session, after our presentation, I invite you to stick around. We're going to have a special message regarding our brand new Les Navegantes program. So just a little bit of an intro as to what we're going to talk about tonight. Mindfulness. It's a type of meditation which involves breathing methods, guided imagery, and other practices to relax the body and mind and help reduce stress. And I know we've all been under stress over the past couple of years, and probably before that, and most likely after this as well. InsightLA, a nonprofit meditation community, brings free mindfulness and meditation to marginalized communities through their Insight in Action program. So tonight we have with us Rosamaria Segura, the Director of Insight and Action, who will present how mindfulness meditation builds resilience and supports well-being among caregivers, social justice and environmental activists, first responders, teachers, and more in Southern California and beyond. So please join us, Rosamaria Segura. Hola,
Good
Rosamaria.
evening. Thank you. Good evening. Hola, hola.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. Thank you
Great.
for inviting me and for all the wonderful work that you are doing.
Well, thank you so much. No, it's our pleasure. You know, we're here. We've been, a lot of us in the first year plus on the lockdown, we were at home, but things are opening up, but we still, I mean, there's so much things going on in our world, both personal, professional, and just things that are going on that this is something that I think is necessary for all of us. And we welcome you to talk a little bit about what Insight in LA does and how you, let's first of all ask you how you got involved with this.
Thank you. How I got involved. Well, I used to work at Clinica Monsignor Oscar Romero. This is many years ago, volunteering during the 90s. And one of our mental health provider was feeling overwhelmed with the number of patients that we were seeing, and he wanted to find different ways to help them. And he asked me to translate some tapes. That's how long ago it was. And so these were meditation tapes that were in English, and he wanted to translate them into Spanish. That's how I got exposed the first time. And I started using the tapes for myself. And through that process, I eventually decided that I wanted to dedicate my life to share these practices with our communities, because I find it so helpful, so healing. And once we learn it, is there for life to use it whenever we want to.
Well, that's wonderful. I know, of course, we all know about Oscar Romero, Clínica Oscar Romero. It's been in the community for many, many years. And we primarily associate it with physical health, of course. The checkups, the vaccines, the everything that goes with what's going on in the outer body. But this is more has to do with the inner body. Is that correct?
It has to do with our mind or body. It has to do with everything that keeps us alive. So it's a combination.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So
Yeah.
you have a presentation that you're going to show for us right now. So you could share the screen. Please tell us about show what mindfulness is all about and how we could incorporate it into our daily lives.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy. I like to start maybe a little bit with practicing a little bit of mindfulness first, just a few minutes, and then I'll jump into the presentation. So if you could just take a moment to just settle and notice the place that we're sitting, notice the sit that's holding your body. And sometimes closing the eyelids help a little bit so that we can connect with that presence of just being here and arriving here, allowing the weight of your body to just simply drop, to drop into the seat. Perhaps rolling your shoulders back just a little bit and lifting your chest, and intentionally allowing any tension that you may have or stress on your shoulders to melt down to the ground. Taking maybe one deep breath together at the count of 3. 1, 2, breathe in deep and release. Release slowly, slowly. Now let the body find its own natural rhythm of breathing.
Unknown color.
And we can use that as a bell to come back now to the screen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick one. That's a quick. We'll practice a little more, and that's just an introduction. But thanks. Let me share. Distractions happens all the time. So, or mind is always distracted, even if the phone is not ringing. Can you see that well?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. I was trying to get the full screen, but I should have. I don't know if I could do it now. Yeah, slideshow. Okay, well, no, it does it. All right, well, so part of what the intention of the program that I manage is called Insight in Action, is to help our communities to calm the mind, to open our hearts, and to be open to the world, to change the world. And so Insight in Action offers mindfulness and compassion practices available at no cost to caregivers. And this could be doctors, nurses, or people that are working from home, taking care of our parents or children. Schools, including staff, teachers, and students, to nonprofit organizations, to the first responders who are on the front lines of suffering. We also teach to inmates and to members of our communities that are impacted by injustice, also known as communities that are on the margins of or communities of the city, communities of colors, Latinx. And so we offer these services at no cost. And when I talk about mindfulness, it's good to mention and explain what it is. This is a description by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. He's the one who made it most popular in the United States. And he describes it as paying attention. Mindfulness is a means of paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and not judging ourselves. So what really this means is like we're intentional about noticing what's happening right now without expecting anything or without grading ourselves if we're doing it right or wrong. And so being gentle with ourselves and not being critical about what we're doing. So I'm going to try again another mindful pause. Now that I give you the definition of what mindfulness is, we're going to do a little bit longer now, and then I'll continue explaining what it is. So I mentioned being intentional, on purpose, and not judging. So let's try again. And this time I'm going to use my bell. All right. So we don't have to use your bell, Abelardo. I'm going to use my bell. The bell is simply an invitation to the mind to just settle down, rest for a moment. So again, relaxing your eyelids. If it's possible, close them completely. If not, gazing down so that the distractions around you are minimal. Just give our full attention to the sound of the bell. Noticing the beginning, the middle, and the end. And mentally checking in the body, seeing if there's any way that you can feel more comfortable and at ease. And we can also be intentional about noticing the different sounds that are around our surroundings. And just letting anything that is happening around you to be there in the background. We're going to invite our mind to give its full attention to the breath. You don't need to manipulate the breath. Your body's already breathing. It does it all the time. And so while I'm guiding you and while I go in silence for a few minutes, you will notice that the mind will begin thinking about something that is not the breath. The mind will start telling you about future plans or remembering something that you haven't done or something that you did. And that's okay. We're not trying to stop thinking. We're simply directing the mind to the breath. So we can notice the breath by feeling the sensation of the air going in through your nose. Perhaps noticing the temperature of the air. Or perhaps noticing any aromas that you may be aware of. And see if you can follow the breath going down to your lungs. You may notice as you breathe in, there's a little bit of movement on your chest or your shoulders. And see if you can find where does the in-breath rest in the body. Sometimes it rests on the chest and sometimes on the abdomen. Sometimes there's tiny little pause as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And I'm going to leave you in silence for just a few seconds. And I invite you to continue witnessing and following the path of your breath. If it helps, you can count up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 each time that you inhale. The goal is not to reach 5, but simply to notice when the mind is not noticing the breath and is distracted. So if you find yourself wandering away from your breath, simply start counting 1 again. 1 to 5, and then come back to 1. Together now, in silence. I'm going to offer you the bell now to return to the screen. Wait until the end of the bell. Try not to rush into returning. Take your time. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. So that was another little taste of what mindfulness practice is. And we'll have a space for questions and answer, but this practice is about practicing. That's why it's called a practice. And so I can give you a lot of information, but the best way to learn it is by actually doing it. So let's continue with the program. Some of the benefits of mindfulness, one of the reasons why we offer it is because it has a lot of benefits. It improves our sense of ease. And I hope that you were able to experience a little bit of ease while I was guiding you. It also brings more self-awareness. The longer we stay in silence and the more we practice, we become aware of a lot of information that the body holds, and a lot of information of what the mind is telling us that is not real. So it also helps us to improve our focus and concentration, because as we're practicing in silence or following the instructions that we offer, the mind muscle, it's learning how to do this. And so it helps for concentration, focus, for sports, for anything that we do, but also aware of what's our state of mind and our body in the current moment that we are. And it also brings more skillful responses to difficult situations, because we are able to practice and learn what or the body is experiencing and the messages that the mind is sending us. We are able to respond more wisely when we are dealing in a difficult situation, when we're with a difficult person, instead of just reacting. And so by having more awareness and being more skillful in difficult situations, it also helps us to be empathetic and understanding of others. So we pause and then we realize, wow, maybe this person, for example, is not so upset with me. Maybe this person is going through some other difficulty. And the reason why this person is reacting is not because of me. And so what does that is increases our compassion for ourselves and for others, and resiliency to be able to bounce back from difficult situations. And again, as I was saying earlier, responses to difficult situations, which improves our conflict resolution skills. And so to give you a little bit more of an example of how it works, so I've been saying, yes, the body has to do a lot with the body, right? The mind reacts. When there's something that is happening, immediately the mind starts sending you messages, thoughts, and ideas of what we need to do. And the body sometimes responds slower than the mind. But when we establish a practice, then we become more aware about the physical experience. And we become aware that we need, before we respond, we need to be more balanced and find techniques. We have different techniques to learn how to ground and calm ourselves. And I was saying earlier, the mental muscle, the mind, right? It brings this awareness of how the mind is working, how the mind is getting distracted. And in the same sense, then we are building this capacity for us to be aware of everything that is happening around us, how the mind is sending us messages, thinking, and how we're feeling, and being aware of everything that is happening around us. And part of this practice, remember in the description I say, is not judgmental, meaning learning how to be more compassionate and more kind before we even start judging, but also learning to understand our emotions. So regulating our emotions with kindness, with compassion, with empathy. So a lot of the practices that we do connect us with our emotions, with our emotional heart. And by having these skills, then we are able to open to widen our view to the rest of the world and understand how the world impacts us and how we are affected by everything that is happening at us, but also how we impact others. So it's taking responsibility of our actions, but also of our own health. And especially during these times, taking care of our health is so important. But even before the pandemic and after, there's always injustices. There's always situations where we're not treated well, where we're not receiving the attention or the care that we all deserve. And lastly, we also are able to expand and connect with others, or social connections, with more empathy and understanding, more interpersonal skills. And so there's been a lot of scientific research. This is part of what I'm explaining is something that you discover on your own, but a lot of research is being done and continues to be done, demonstrating that mindfulness and compassionate practices improve our mental and physical health. And they have tested and seen how the brain physical structure changes to build the resilience that I've been mentioning, right? So it's not just me telling you, there's a lot of research that is already being tested. And it's been tested how our emotional health is improved. It reduces stress, it reduces insomnia. It also it can help us to reduce pain. And when there is chronic pain that doesn't go away, we are able to cope with pain and deal with that in ways that is more harmful, wholesome, in ways that we can also be more active instead of just constrained by the suffering of our chronic pain. And as I was saying before, self-regulation. So why is it that this matters? It matters because now more than ever, but like I say, even before, we depend a lot on others to help us. Sometimes we are the ones who are helping others. Sometimes we are helping our parents or elders who are at home, or children's, the little ones, right? And very easily we get burnout. We get burnout of helping. So burnout from compassion fatigue, what is called. And so we train nonprofit organizations who are defending our rights, who are defending justice, and we train caregivers. We train those who are also working in homeless populations, in just taking care of others who are there out there in the front lines. We train them. We train to be more compassionate, to understand how the work that they're doing is also draining. And by helping others to understand how they need to take care of themselves, then that has a ripple effect outwards towards others and to the people that they're serving. And I say earlier that we also share these practices with communities that usually don't have access. Most of the practices of mindfulness have been mostly in areas that are white and affluent, because most of the people who learn how to teach mindfulness were more affluent white folks who traveled to Asia and learned the practice, and then they came here. So more recently now we're teaching to communities of colors, and with our program we are more intentional to go specifically to areas that have not been exposed to this practice. So I'm gonna do a pause and see if there are any questions before I continue, because I'm talking a lot and you probably have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I have a question, Rosamaria. Now, I've heard, of course, of meditation. Meditation has been something that people have been talking about since the '60s when I was young, with during of course, the alternative hippie movement and so on, about being, meditating, uh, uh, releasing their emotions through, calmness, and through mantras and so on. How is mindfulness and meditation? Is it the same thing, or is there a difference there?
Mindfulness meditation, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Some people call it mindfulness meditation, in español atención plena. Some people just call it mindfulness. It is meditation.
Okay, and
Yeah.
and you talk about how especially during these stressful times, about your organization going into communities of caregivers. How do they connect with you in order to be able to take advantage of your services?
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. Um, let me just kind of clarify a little more on the question that you had before. I know that word mindfulness is so trending right now, especially in the past 3 years. Like, be mindful about this, be mindful. It's just, you hear it all the time, right? So and I don't know, when people is using the word mindful, I really don't know exactly what they're saying. Maybe they're saying pay attention or be caring. But when we're talking about mindfulness practice, and when I'm talking about meditation, is the same thing as I described before. So the way that we reach out to nonprofit organizations is we call them, or sometimes people like you may find out that we're offering this service, and you tell a nonprofit organization, say, hey, this service is available at no cost to you. I explain what it is. I sometimes offer a presentation just like the one that we're doing now. And if the organization has the time to accommodate the staff so that they can receive these teachings, we go there. And now that we are doing on Zoom, where we do it on Zoom, before we used to do it in person, that's how it is. We go to schools. We go to, for example, some of the organizations that we were working before the pandemic in person was in Feast for All, which is, they have the offices in Mercado La Paloma.
Mhm.
I'm currently working in person in South Central Lamp. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Continue.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so and I have to say we also teach. We're now opening more opportunities to teach to Spanish speakers. There are very few Spanish speaker teachers in Southern California, and until now we are like doing intentional effort to find places in areas of predominantly Latinx and Spanish speakers so that we can share this practice, and it's all at no cost. So let me share again my screen here, and these are let's see, how can I do this? Okay, these are some testimonies that we have received from some teachers in different schools that we have taught. So in schools is the same way. If there is a school in an area that it's a lot of resources that have not really received all the resources that they need to provide for the teachers and the students and the staff, we invite them to learn, and we have had many schools who have taken advantage of this opportunity. So just to give you, I'll read them in case that someone is on the phone. So one teacher from El Ranchito School District, this is in Pico Rivera, says the mindfulness series helped me by providing simple strategies to improve my mindfulness in an effort to increase self-awareness and reduce anxiety. And this is another teacher from Montebello. This, I think, was in a school in Bell Gardens. We were teaching last summer on Zoom to third graders, and it was such a beautiful experience because last summer, a lot of the kids were not even opening their screens. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, whatever," tired of seeing myself on the screen. But after a couple of days that we were teaching mindfulness, the children were just like participating with their screen open. It was so beautiful. And so this is what one of the teachers observed. The mindfulness online summer program helped students who had not shared their voices or the camera of themselves they felt safe and confident enough to mute their mics and cameras. I feel as these short lessons have brought us closer as a class to feel safer to participate. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now, you know, this is the first summer 2020, right? First summer of the pandemic, and we were all on Zoom and trying to figure out how to use video, right? But now we're more experts and kids are like more expert. But last year it was a different story. So anyway, thank you.
Oh no, thank you so much. Just how would a program or say if of a nonprofit organization would approach you to bring this mindfulness practice into their workplace? Uh, what does it consist of?
Well, you know, if anybody calls me and say they're interested, we design a program that will fit their needs and their staff, because every organization, especially nonprofit organizations, and you work in a nonprofit organization, you wear, I don't know how many hats. You only mentioned two today, but I'm sure you probably also do the dishes too. We all do a lot of things in a nonprofit organization, right? We have a title, but that title has many hats. And so like making time to sit down and say, be quiet, don't do anything, it's the opposite of what we're trained to do, right? We live in a society that say like, hurry up, you got to produce, don't slow down, apúrate, vamos, right? So we're saying, no, you need to stop everything that you're doing and take care of yourself. And so depending on the type of business or services that the organization provides, we will design a program. Sometimes they just want to know, they're curious, and we give them an hour. Other times we design a program that shows the different techniques of mindfulness. Like today we did a little bit of breath, but you can also practice, and we can practice later, just noticing the body or noticing sounds. So there's different techniques that you can use. The whole idea is that you are giving something to your mind to stay connected with your present moment, and to be entertained, because the mind gets bored really easily, right? And so if you just stay quiet, immediately the mind, we call it a monkey mind, will just start thinking or planning or remembering. So you got to give an object to stay focused, or an anchor to stay present. And so sometimes people just want to try it and say, no, this is not for me. Others say, oh, I really like it. Let's do some more. And so depending on what the staff feels or is interested in, we design a program. And, in other cases, like right now, I'm working with some medical clinics in East Los Angeles. And the medical doctor there she's totally aware that this is beneficial for patients. And we're designing a program. Hopefully we're going to design a program for the prenatal patients, and another one maybe for the hypertensive or diabetic patients, so that no seas tan corajuda, cálmate. Yeah, and to understand that when there's anger or there's anxiety, there's something behind that, right? There's something behind that, and the body's telling us. So we design different programs depending on the organization.
So mindfulness really doesn't give us, it seems to me, it doesn't really give us the answers as to our anxieties are, or what is stressing us, but it gives us a moment to kind of just focus on the now.
It gives you tools to understand what is most important for you right now, right? Because there's not much we can do on what happened before we got to this moment. The over ago, we can't change that. We can reminisce, but we are not going to change that. And we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We have plans, we have intentions, we have ideas, right? But it may change completely. And so tomorrow is not completely under our control. We don't have control over tomorrow or yesterday. But right now, even if you don't know how you're going to pay your rent, because you don't have a job to cover all your bills, even if if you're under difficult circumstances at this moment, you have the option on what can you do with this moment. How can you live best this moment?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Recently, a lot of stressors were taking place. Some people were you know the experiences of other people were kind of affecting me, and I was having insomnia. I just couldn't sleep thinking about all these things. And of course, I know a lot of people, or some have used the apps on the phone to kind of control the breathing, to think about what's going on now. And I found that it helped. I found
Yeah.
that it really was able to calm me down, and that's the app Calm, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard about. Uh, but this, what you're doing with communities, with nonprofits, really seems to touch more on what would help out our community, our Latino community, and are our experiences different from others that you are aware of?
What do you mean, or experience?
Like what is affecting us as Latinos? Could it be different from what's affecting people that in other ethnic communities, or are there very similar issues, similar stressors that are affecting them as well?
you know um Anxiety is anxiety, right? Sadness is sadness. But I think that when we have less resources, when society doesn't give us the same resources to all its population, to all its people, then there is an added anxiety to it, right? So, for example, if I'm working with another nonprofit organization who we're doing a retreat for youth this Saturday, right? And she says, I'm not going to be able to make it because I just tested positive. The first thing that I said, do you have insurance? right? Do you have insurance? Do you have health insurance? Do you have access to a doctor? So you can imagine for many of us, many of our communities do not have access to health insurance or have high co-payments. And so there's an added anxiety there, whether other more affluent communities don't have that concern.
I completely understand that. Now, you also offer through InsightLA, through your program, you offer this mindfulness to Spanish-speaking communities. Uh,
Yes.
and how are they responding to what you're offering?
Oh, it's beautiful. We did the first 3 weekend retreat at Big Bear Retreat Center. This is last year. We had about 18 or 20 participants, but because at that time we were taking even more precautions, right, because we didn't have vaccines yet, and so we couldn't accommodate everyone that wanted to come because we wanted to have more physical space. And we have had other day-long retreats, and people come and try it. Several of the participants that started practicing with me at El Mercadito, I was doing classes in person at El Mercadito. And, on the third floor, if you've been at El Mercadito, the third floor, that's where all the mariachis are. So we would do it in the morning before the mariachis arrive. But, los cocineros, they would be listening to the football and contando el chisme, and just like there was a lot of background noise, but people would come and sit. And it was this beautiful experience in this little flower shop that one of the participants was letting us use there. We would just sit there silently, and some of those participants have continued to practice over these 2 years of the pandemic.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's what's needed right at this moment.
Yes.
This type of activity, and tell us a little bit about what you're offering over the next few weeks via Zoom and how you're doing the outreach.
Yeah, I will do that. And yes, you're right. This is needed right now because of the pandemic, but I want to say that it's needed now and it's always needed. Once you learn it, it's there. Like, if it's like learning an instrument. Once you learn how to play the instrument, and if you enjoy it, you'll continue playing it, right? But like learning an instrument, it requires practice. It requires repetition so that you can get better and so that it gets easier and easier every time you do it. So you may learn something today or with the app, and you may not practice it again for another month or 2 months, but it'll be there. So you have a toolbox there that you can later pull it out and use it whenever you want. And so what we intend to do is to continue offering opportunities for those who can come, who have the intention and who have the commitment that they want to learn it and try and make the effort to come. They don't have to pay. So we're going to be offering some Zoom classes for 4 weeks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. from 8 to 9 in Espanol. And then martes from 7 to 8 p.m. And the Zoom link will be on the calendar of La Plaza, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. Yes. And so that's for 4 weeks. And thank you for supporting this and for bringing this to your members, to your communities. And then we're going to do in-person classes. And the in-person classes will be, we haven't decided yet, but I think more likely will be on Tuesdays. And we're going to do also a day long in your beautiful building in March. So all of that will be on your calendar, but it's coming up.
It certainly will, and we really welcome what you're bringing to the community. We you know our we consider La Plaza, of course, a museum first and foremost, but it's also a community center where organizations could come and utilize our facilities, and this is just so important, and it's needed now and then into the future, and we're happy to make this our facilities available for that, and we will be posting that on our Facebook page. and also on our other social media pages and on our website. So watch out for that, those of you who are watching. Uh, how can people get a hold of you, Rosa Maria, if they want to learn more about the services that you provide to these nonprofits?
Oh yeah, they can contact me. I can give my email address right now, but I don't know if people can see that chat here. If not, maybe you can put it on Facebook later. I'll put the link, but I can. You can send me an email at Rosamaria at InsightLA. So not at, it's Rosamaria in Espanol at InsightLA.org, and that spelling is INSIG. Oh, you got it. Okay. Thank you. So you can just send me an email if you're interested in learning other classes that I offer or that other teachers offer in English by Latinx teachers. We have different classes that we're offering online. If you're interested in person, I will also begin teaching in person in East LA next Monday at 6 o'clock on Gage and Cesar Chavez Boulevard. If you're interested in bringing mindfulness to your place of work, yeah, send me an email and I'll be happy to do that. Or if you think that this is something that the principal at any schools that you know would be interested in, that the teachers will benefit, yeah, connect them with me.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I've also posting there the website for InsightLA.org. You can learn a lot more about the services that are provided, and also learn more about mindfulness in general.
Yeah. Okay. So let me post here on the chat because there's if you look in the website, there's Insight in Action that says a little bit more of. I'll find it right now.
Oh, I have it right here.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. It's InsightLA.org slash insight dash in dash action. So learn more about this wonderful program that's nothing but benefit to our community and to yourselves personally, but also to organizations. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Rosa Maria. It was a pleasure meeting you on Zoom, and I know we'll be meeting each other in person soon there at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. So, any final thoughts, please?
Oh, yeah. And well, I like to maybe close with just a little bit of silence again and try to, I invite you and others to just check one moment, closing your eyes. Don't even need to change your position. Just check and see how you feel right now. Notice your heart. Notice your breath. And breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. May you be happy and well. May all beings be happy and well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, thank you,
Bye-bye.
Rosa Maria. Thank you to all of you that joined us tonight on En Casa con la Plaza. This was a very special one. I think it's something that we could take with us and really improve our lives as we move forward, not just during the pandemic, but afterwards. I mean, this is it's been an anomaly in our society of having this really terrible health crisis, but it's also extended not only physically but emotionally and mentally. And mindfulness can do nothing except to help us to cope and to be positive and to move forward. So with that, I promised you a little brief a commercial, a PSA from a special program that we're starting off at La Plaza. So I'm going to just do a little screen share again, and you can listen in to this.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's En Casa. I'm Alondra Garay, the Public Engagement Manager here at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. I'm going to take a quick...
Okay, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to start all over again. Okay, here it goes. Hold on, please. Let's try that again. Let me click the right share button. Here it goes.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's En Casa. I'm Alondra Beret, the Public Engagement Manager here at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. I'm going to take a quick moment and talk to you about our great new volunteering opportunity. Our program is called Les Navegantes, and we're looking for applicants who are interested in giving tours in our exhibition. LA starts here. So why Navegantes? Our volunteers navegate or navigate guests through La Plaza's exhibitions, and at the same time, they navigate through people's experiences and stories, ready for an open discussion on Los Angeles's identity. Interested? Check out our page at La Plaza's website /Les Navegantes to read about our value statements, benefits, and for our application. But don't wait too long. Our applications close Monday, 21st. Thank you and enjoy the program.
All right, thank you, Alondra. Alondra is our public engagement manager there at La Plaza. And it's basically Les Navegantes is a volunteer program in which you, no matter what your educational level is, we're asking adults 21 and over to step up and volunteer for this program. There'll be training sessions. There'll be you get interviewed, training sessions, practice sessions, and then you'll be able to help out our visitors to learn more about our exhibitions and to really participate and become engaged with what we're offering there at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. Go to our website at lapca.org. I'm dropping in the URL to get more information, the link there about Los Navegantes. We welcome you to step up and fill out that application, but you only have a little bit more than a week. February 21st, the application period ends, but get in there before it's too late. So thank you very much again, Rosamaria. Thanks to our sponsors, CVS Health, Aetna, Union Pacific Foundation, Kaiser Permanente, California Humanities, National Endowment for the Humanities, and the Institute of Museum and Library Services. In Casa con la Plaza comes up. We return this Friday with a great program. I'm sure you'll enjoy. It's Giovanni Blanco, a musician and filmmaker, who's going to talk about unbreakable positivity through these uncertain times. It's going to be a performance, a conversation with somebody who's been on the music scene and the filmmaking scene here in LA for a little bit of time. And then we're off next Monday. We usually have our cooking demonstration in Casa con la Plaza Cocina, but it's President's Day, so we're going to take that day off. But we do invite you to come and visit us at La Plaza Cocina at 550 North Spring Street, right directly behind La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. Open Monday through Friday from 12 to 5. And then, of course, La Plaza is open every day of the week except for Tuesday. You're going to have a good time when you come and join us. So with that, buenas noches a todos. Thank you again, Rosamaria. And we'll see you all soon. All right. Until the next time, muy buenas noches.